Welcome back. I'm Linda KINKADE. Good to have you with us. Well, Palestinians are urging the UN's top court to order an immediate and unconditional end to Israeli occupation of their lands, saying justice has been denied for decades. The International Court of Justice opened a week of hearings at The Hague today on the legal implications of Israeli occupation since 1967. Israel is not taking part, but has urged the ICJ to dismiss the case, calling it fundamentally distorted. The Palestinian Authority Foreign Minister says his people are suffering, quote, colonialism and apartheid and deserve self-determination. Well, any ruling will be non-binding, but the hearing comes amid growing international pressure on Israel to stop the war in Gaza. His voice cracking with emotion, Palestinian UN Representative Riyad Mansour said international law has failed Gaza's children.
It has protected neither them nor their childhood. It has not protected their families or communities. It has not protected their lives or limbs, their hopes or homes. We are a proud and resilient people that has endured more than its share of agony. It is so painful to be Palestinian today.
Well, this case is separate from the one brought by South Africa that accuses Israel of genocide in Gaza. Well, I want to discuss these landmark cases now with South Africa's Justice Minister, RONALD, LAMOLA, who joins us live from Pretoria. Good to have you with us.
Good evening.
So, Minister, today these hearings began at the International Court of Justice. An unprecedented number of countries are taking part in this, 52 countries in all. And today, as we were just listening, we heard the Palestinian Foreign Minister. I just want to play some more sound from him, if you could take a listen.
Ending Israel's impunity is a moral, political, and legal imperative. Successive Israeli governments have given the Palestinian people only three options: displacement, subjugation, or death.
So today he is demanding the end of Israeli occupation on Palestinian land, Palestinian territories. South Africa is due to testify tomorrow at the court. Where does South Africa stand on this?
Thank you very much. We support the Palestinian submission that indeed it's an apartheid occupation by the Zionist state of Israel, that a non-binding opinion, obviously by the ICJ, has to be issued, and that will definitely continue to assert the rights of Palestinian people, but also to assess the international rules-based law that we expect that must be able to end the exceptionalism of the state of Israel.
And Minister, as you said, this is non-binding. So no matter what the court decides after listening to 52 countries, we know that Israel could just reject it. So what then?
Yeah, it remains a very important authoritative opinion, although it is non-binding, but it is an authoritative opinion that is influential. It is also very important for the other bodies of the UN to be able to have the clear position in terms of what the rule of law is with regards to the occupation. And it is also for that reason why we also went to the ICJ with regards to the one which is binding on the Genocide Convention, because we believe that the rulings of the court are very important. The binding one that we have in regard to the 6 provisional measures is important, and even this one with regards to the fact that it will also be an advisory opinion. It remains very authoritative and influential in terms of the rule of law, which we hope that it will appeal to the conscience of the international community to continue to put pressure on the state of Israel. And it will also appeal to the conscience of the state of Israel to abide by international law.
And Minister, just on your case, South Africa, of course, has called on the court to consider whether Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. The preliminary ruling, as you're pointing out, in that case has called on Israel to prevent the deaths of Palestinians, to provide humanitarian aid, and also to provide the court with updates on how it's doing that. Has Israel done any of that?
As you are aware, and also from your reports, it's clear that they are continuing to kill innocent civilians, innocent children, and it's clear that international law up to so far has not been able to protect the rights of the Palestinian people as a protected group, as ruled by the court, where it found that there is indeed a plausible case of genocide. We expect that the international community must put the necessary pressure to the state of Israel to comply with the 6 provisional measures of the court. As the court has said, those provisional measures are binding and applicable in the entirety of the Gaza Strip through its ruling with regards to our request to prevent Israel from continuing with the operation in Rafah. So we expect that the international community will continue to put pressure, including various organs of the UN, so that a rules-based international system is maintained, and it is the future through which future generations must be able to maintain law and order in the affairs of the international community.
Ronald LAMOLA, South Africa's Justice Minister, we appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.